Domestic Open War, and today I'm going to bring you a quick review on the LTTB Tier 7 Russian light tank. At this point I haven't actually finished grinding through the tank, however, I'm about halfway through, had a few battles, and I have a little bit of understanding of how the tank works. It's a very fast tank. I've got a rammer, coated optics, and vents for view range, active scouting, and some running and gunning. It's a very long gun, by the way. Different people have mentioned how it is kind of trollish with its armor. It really doesn't have much armor, but it's angled quite nicely. Small tank, but it's very tall as well, with not a whole lot of gun depression, coming in at -3 degrees. So it's something that you have to kind of work with, considering it is tall for a small light tank. So in this first review here, I'm going to go through and show some of what active scouting can be like. For the most part, the first little bit isn't actually that exciting. I do a little bit of lighting, and that's pretty much about it. I do like the suspension on this tank. You'll see it in the second review here. And I'm just going to kind of skip a few ahead, doing some standard berm running. That 4202 is actually a decent tank. Not the tank itself, the player that's in it. And their LTTB is coming after me a little bit, so I'm going to try to draw him into the guns of somebody else, and he doesn't follow the bait. And again, like I said, for the first little bit here, all I really did was try to spot some stuff and give my team some opportunities. And you see some radio assist hits and stuff. And right about this point, my platoon mate says how he nailed that 4202 pretty good. So I go, maybe I can get him cleaned up because he's left on low health. Now he's lost spotted down near their base, so I figure, hey, why not? There he is, 7 hit points. And I'm rolling right up, and I'm still not lit. Even though this thing does have pretty good suspension, I don't want to test it too much by going off too many bumps. But take a little bit of an opportunity here. Because he had his back to me, I just took the opportunity. So I saw the ISU 152 sitting here, and I thought, hey, I'm going to go take care of him. Unfortunately, there's an AT7 as well, so instead I decided to work on him. Looks like the ISU 152 didn't load in, or whatever he did. I did report him for inactive bot later on. And the AT7 was quite upset and actually called for that to be done. Didn't see the LTTB there in time. I was kind of tunnel visioned on the Arty over there that somebody else took care of. And he damaged my turret ring here. And you notice how I'm trying to keep angled and keep him in front of me, hopefully catch a bounce. And there's my lucky bounce, that's what I needed. But unfortunately I already missed too many shots myself. So, not bad, 1500 damage. You know, I was very opportunistic on that AT7. Got some damage on the LTTB and sniped out that 4202. Now in this second battle here, I take my usual run. I like to go into the Valley of the Shadow of Death, for I shall fear no evil. And you know, sometimes it gets me caught out and I die, other times I get kind of lucky. Usually you can count on some TDs, so one of the things you want to do is you want to try to light them early, which is why I kind of did this high run. I wouldn't do that in every tank, but this thing I did, and I can't believe I didn't track myself there, but that's where I realized this thing really does have a very strong suspension. So I do have 6th Sense on this tank, but I don't have Brothers in Arms yet, so it's not quite to the point where I'd want it to be if it was a keeper tank. I think the Arty was just taking a blind shot there. And again, like I said, I'm not spotted. I'm very surprised not seeing somebody camped up in the hill range up in here, or sometimes they like to sit in behind here. At this point, I'm quite surprised. So I finally give up on my venture of passive scouting, and I get back to active scouting. I see the Artie up there, so that's kind of my next goal, is to go after him. And then I see the T-28 prototype and start thinking, he could be some problems for my team. So those rocks can be very confining. So if I can get in behind him, I might be able to trap him in there. And sure enough, I pull up right behind him. And there's two into him. He turns, and this is really weird what he does here. He actually turned his turret so far around, and keep in mind these tanks can't actually turn their turrets all the way, but he turned it so far around that he actually shot my right track. He had to actually pass my entire tank to do that. Simple thing, dude. Right click, left click. Pro tip number 1. It's kind of a noob thing to do, but it'll save you from doing something stupid like shooting a light tank's track. So at this point, I want to get that kill shot on the Artie, but still no glory. So I've got an Oni and a KV-5 and an M41 Bulldog. This is not a good situation. Now the light tanks that I'm playing with are two guys from Reddit 3, and we're not actually platooned, and I didn't find the room in TeamSpeak to actually share with them. But again, you just saw there that KV-5 just shot. He was moving forward, turning his turret, and trying to shoot a fast light tank. It didn't work out too well for him. And this thing doesn't have good gun depression, as I said before. -3 degrees is horrible. It's very Chinese-ish in the play style, so I couldn't actually do anything with it there. So I decided to come back up and around. The Bulldog is currently unloading a clip into the Oni, and I don't want to go to the same spot. When you're coming up, you want to try to get them turning their guns one way or the other. So they're currently facing him. So I'm going to pull out, and I end up in the exact same spot I just exited. How long ago? Take a shot, and he misses. Stop and aim. Very simple. This battle could have been over a lot sooner had he just stopped and aimed. And yeah, auto lock on that guy, not a good idea. So at this point, some of my teammates are calling out other teammates for sitting back and camping. We had two of their heavies with us. Their Artie's already taken out. Their TD is already taken out. And they're losing to these guys up there. That was just a bad RNG. You know, so much soft spots that I could hit in them, and that's where it decides to hit. So, at this point I've done 1,279 damage, and I've taken a shot to the track. So I'm going to go back up on the hill, see if I can get around this KV-5 and clean him up. And looking at the map, yeah, my team isn't doing good. And again, auto-aiming, it can be such a noob thing to do. And I just did it and paid the price twice. So I have used some premium rounds there. I switched back to AP, hoping that I can find some nice, easy, soft targets to actually kill. And I decided to start capping. Hopefully my team can put some pressure on. There's a T-34, a couple of TDs, but of course they're all being called out for camping. So looking at how far away they are, the Wiz 111 being the closest, yeah, I'm not going to be able to cap this in time. Minute and 17, no, he'll be over here, kill me, and moving on to my cap by the time a minute 17 passes. So I decided it's time to bug out, regroup with the rest of the campers, and draw the enemy into them. So I have gotten a little bit of luck here. I mean, when you're in a light tank with no armor, you pretty much need a little bit of luck. And they've missed every single shot that they've tried putting into me, except for the one from the T-28 Proto, who decided to shoot me in the track. So the Bulldog is currently going to engage the T-32 over there. And if you watch, he gets some damage on him. But unfortunately, not enough. But I think that was the J Panther that just cleaned him up. So now that we've got the advantage again in tank numbers, and about equal in hit points, I need to use our next advantage, which is view range. And right away, that 3002 has actually chased me all the way across the valley, so he actually has me spotted as well. So I go unspotted, and I've got the full hit point advantage on him. Hopefully the maneuverability, get a little bit of luck. So far no luck. Nice little slide, back up, another pen, 2 low rolls, and the Wiz 111 is also shooting me. And to ensure the damage, I turn to try to get a side shot into him. So during that, they got the 54 mod 1 at some point. And again, my goal here is going to be trying to keep that Wiz 111 spotted. Be nice if I could get a couple of penning shots, so I load some APCR. Hopefully I can get something in here. And just see which way he wants to go. Whichever way he goes, I just keep on kiting him and making him move and readjust. So he does one of the best things he can do. He's heading over into the rock to try to stay safe. So at this point, my elevated position here isn't actually as handy as it would have been. Had he stayed right under the rock, I could have stayed above him, kept him lit. My TDs would have sniped him all day long, and he couldn't have done anything to me. So we both went invisible. I just back up enough just to get him lit again so that my team knows exactly where he's sitting and how he's sitting, and they can kind of plan how to get in on him. So the J Panther comes around, puts a big round into him, Wiz the 111 misses, and I drive up on the rock. This thing also doesn't have enough elevation. The Waffenträger comes in and shoots the ground, but thankfully I can get the kill and the win. And now as a review for that, I did get the ace tanker and a few nice small ribbons out of the deal. Ended up with 1,351 XP, 2,139 damage. I believe a blind shot into the T-39 put me over on that. 5 kills, very nice. And ended up doing a little bit of sniping, but overall that was mostly upfront engagements. Ended up assisting for another 1,522, traveling over 4.5 kilometers. Did spend some gold, so I did lose money on that one, but ended up being well worthwhile in the experience category. And man, it was a fun battle. So ultimately, as far as I'm concerned with this tank, it isn't always a carry tank. It's got decent characteristics, but ultimately it's a lot of fun to play. It's something that I may consider keeping as a tier 7 in the garage, just in case there's an opportunity to pull it out sometime. Anyway, hopefully this review helped, and you guys maybe cheered me on a little bit there. Hopefully see you guys on the battlefield.